National Stream Statistics Program. That's what I want to talk about today. And we can Google it, USGS NSS. And it'll take you to their webpage here. And we've talked about this before, and I'll put links in the file, but just a reminder. This is the NSS program we want to download. Currently it's version 6.1 and the database to go with it. And you'll want to install those. When you first launch this, it'll ask you to locate this file. So be ready to put that in the directory somewhere to where you can select where it's at, and it'll launch it. And I already have it on my computer. I've already installed it, and this is it. This is how it launches, and you can select all the different states. And we're interested in West Virginia, in our particular county, which is Cabell. So let's just go ahead and do that. West Virginia, and if I hit new, here's what's important. Here's what we're going to work on today. All these peak flows here are from a map, and there's a map associated with these regions in the state. And there's a map here, and our state is always 4. And then if we open this publication here, there's a map in there that we're interested in too, because it breaks the state up into regions. Let's go down to where we find the map. And this is the map. It breaks the state up into regions of Eastern, Central, and Western. And I want to geo-reference that, especially for these counties that, they're split. If you're working in one county like we are, just this one, well, that's easy. Let me show you how easy that is to fix. Because all you got to do is bring up your seed file that gets copied into the worksheet that we're using. It's going to be copied into every project we create, and you just put this on there. Crippen and Blue flood region is 4, the state is West Virginia, and the peak flow region is Western. Based on that, on this map. But I also want to show counties that maybe have a split, between a region, how to do that too. So that's what I want to do. So I don't know, there's a bunch of different ways to do that. We could just zoom in on this map. This might be the easiest way to do it, because you don't have to worry too much about software and things like that. You want to get it in your view, and then just use the snippet tool, which Windows has, just to grab that thing. Let's see what mode I'm in, rectangular, hit new. I'm just going to grab it. And it asked me to save. I'm going to save it. Let's see, what can I save it as? Let's just do JPEG. And I'm going to go to my shortcut here. I'm going to go to my request. I'm actually working in this directory here. And I'm going to put NSS West Virginia regions. Save. There, we got it. So now we're going to close all these windows. I'm going to close that easy way. I'm going to bring up, I'm working in this directory right here. It's one of the requests I created, and it copies, when I hit new, it copies all those seed files down in there. So I'm starting to use it already. Created the seed file, and it copies everything in. So now I'm just going to open that. And here's what I got so far. I got me a little project area I selected in my county, and things like that. But I want to start out with a blank one right now. So I'm just going to open up QGIS. I'm just going to do this from scratch. But we're still setting this up. So once I do that, I'm going to actually put it on this seed file too. And I'll show you how to do that. Right now we're going to start with a blank one. Let's see what kind of projections we got here. Just to make sure we're on the way. I want to select UTM. It's hard to go wrong with UTM Zone 17, so I'm going to apply that to our project area. Also want to open, we downloaded a bunch of data from the NRCS, and it's in the census. It has our state in there. I'm just going to open that up. I don't think it was. I'm going to add the state to our map because we already had that. Zoom. And now I'm going to reproject that to make sure it's UTM Zone 17 North, NAT 83. And you can tell because of the way it looks. The other way it looks a little bit flattened out. UTM Zone 17 is good for our state. That's what I'm going to use here as a reference to show you how to do this. And then there's a plug-in that we're going to use under raster, georeferencer. And if it's not, I think it's actually a plug-in. So if you don't see it, make sure it's selected, georeferencer, GDAL. And you'll find that here under the plug-in, or under raster, georeferencer. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. Then I'm going to add a file. I'm going to go to our directory where we're working and just load that JPEG that we just messed with. Let's choose the same projection. And now I'm just going to set some parameters on here. I'm going to tell it to select the golden gear there. And I'm going to tell it I want Helmert projection or transformation. I'm going to do, I can't even pronounce that, land cost selection for resampling. And then I'm just going to keep it at UTM Zone 17. And we have to select a new raster. So I'm going to make the raster output a TIFF, I think. So I'm going to go to the request. We're going to put it right in there. I'm going to put on there NSS West Virginia regions. So this time I want to make it TIFF. Hit OK. Now I'm going to select points. Add a point. Select that command. You zoom in to the location. From map canvas, I'm going to turn on my snaps here. And hit OK. I'll go to another point. From map canvas, OK. Another point down here. From map canvas, OK. So now we have them projected, and all we have to do is hit this green arrow. And it saved it the way I know. So go to that request. There it is. There it is. Let's see how good it did. Turn that off. We'll go to the data source. To the browser. Where am I at? Okay. FPMS request. Right here it is. TIFFs regions. There's my points. There's my map. Came right in. Put this on top of it, see how good we did. Yeah, that's pretty nice. So anyway, that's how easy that is. So now I can save that and put it in my seed file. And anytime I need to reference it, I can pull that right in. But that was just a quick example of how we're going to be doing the worksheet. Because look, we're almost there. We're going to be getting the square miles. We went over that. We're going to be getting upstream and downstream distances from the USGS elevation model that we've already processed. We're going to be calculating slope from these distances in upstream and downstream elevation. We're going to have to work up on this Manning's in value, but this is what we just did right here. Now, if we're in another county besides Cabell, we can select the Crippen Blue regions. Always 4 for West Virginia. And sometimes in our county, Cabell is western, but in some cases at West Virginia, it might be central or eastern. Now, generally at work, I work across the whole United States, so I would do the same thing with this map right here, and I actually have. That's it right there. Screen capture that. And do the same thing. You just have to get the continental United States. That way, when you get a selection that might be in a different state altogether, you can pick the Crippen Blue region because that's part of it. Down here, you select what region it's in. In our case, it'd always be 4. In Cabell County, it's always western. And in this case, we just put in the drainage area. Now, all the states are different, so every model is different. So the drainage area we have here is 5.32. Let's stick that in there. 5.32. Okay. And this is what the discharges look like. Remember, we got these from the stream stats. This is how you get them manually. And here's the peak flow that we want. And that's what we'll be using for our sample. What is it? PKU 1720. Right here. So we're getting closer. Enjoy.